when I first got out of jail, like in 89, the end of 89. I didn't want to go back to jail. I wanted to do something with myself.
Snoop Dogg survived the trenches, dodged murder charges, and watched family members fall around him, but still rose to become one of the most iconic figures in hip-hop. Let's rewind and trace how Calvin Cortazar Brodus Jr. went from hustling on the block to facing a life sentence in a Los Angeles courtroom. Born October 20th, 1971 at Long Beach Community Hospital, Calvin's early life was anything but smooth. His biological dad, Vernell Varnado, a Vietnam vet, dipped out just 3 months after he was born, leaving his mom to pick up the pieces. Calvin was named after his stepdad, Calvin Cortazar Brodus Sr., but that marriage didn't last either. By the age of 4, Snoop's mother, Beverly Tate, was the backbone of the household, working multiple jobs to feed her kids in the rough east side of Long Beach. This neighborhood in the 70s and 80s was notorious. Factories closing, jobs scarce, and crack about to tear through the community. Snoop started hustling young, selling candy, delivering papers, bagging groceries, all while staying rooted in music thanks to his mom. A devout Baptist and choir singer, she got him singing and on piano before kindergarten and schooled him on classic R&B and soul, the very sounds that would shape his career. The nickname Snoopy? That was all Mom. He reminded her of the cartoon dog, always glued to the Peanuts show, sweet, innocent, and a stark contrast to the chaos waiting outside his front door. By 6th grade, Snoop was already spitting rhymes in the hallways, pulling crowds that made principals nervous. Football? He had real scholarship potential. Church? Still active. But the streets were loud. By late teens and early 20s, Snoop was deep in the trap, pushing cocaine, earning fast cash, and dodging cops and rival crews. By 1990, possession with intent charges were piling up, landing him 6 months in LA County's Wayside maximum security. Coming home was a wake-up call. He decided the streets were over. Music was the way out.
I first got out of jail like in 89, the end of 89. I didn't want to go back to jail. I wanted to do something with myself. And I just, started becoming dedicated to it, being a student to it, started making tapes and leaving all the other madness alone on the streets and being more dedicated to rap.
Music became his ticket. In high school, he linked with step-cousin Warren G and choir buddy Nathaniel Nate Dogg Hale. They formed 213, crafting the G-Funk sound influenced by George Clinton and early West Coast legends. Their big break? Warren G played a demo where Dr. Dre was at a 1991 event. That led to Snoop featuring on Dre's Deep cover in 1992, and the rest is history. Before dropping tracks with Dre, Snoop was grinding in the back of a local record store, sharpening his skills until he was ready to make a mark.
Like I said, when we was making tapes in the back, me and my homeboys, Dre's little brother was my DJ at the time being, and he was always telling me, man, you need to rap for Dre. And I was like, I know I ain't ready for them yet. They had put Straight Outta Compton out, and I was like, I ain't even on their level yet. So we just went ahead and kept making tapes.
By 1993, Snoop was about to release Dog Style, the fastest-selling rap debut ever. At 21, he was on the verge of superstardom. Then, on August 25th, shots rang near his LA apartment, threatening everything he'd built. The conflict had been simmering all summer. Philip Whittier Merriam, allegedly running with the Buy Yourself Hustlers, had beef with Snoop's crew. On that fateful day, Snoop was cruising in his black Jeep Cherokee with bodyguard McKinley Lee and Sean Abrams when Whittier Merriam crossed paths. Words were exchanged, Lee fired, and Whittier Merriam was hit in the back and buttocks, dying on the spot. No weapon was found on him. Snoop and Lee turned themselves in, facing first-degree murder charges with life, or worse, on the line. Years later, Snoop would recall walking into that courtroom as a young man, with his entire future hanging in the balance.
Let me ask you a question. What was that feeling, man? Because there's a lot of young cats out here that think the street life is all that. I remember everybody seen it when you was walking the court when you was a young cat. You going in there, you and Suge and them. What was that feeling, man? Can you describe that feeling to these young cats? It wasn't.
It wasn't nice. It wasn't.
We talking about murder was the case.
When you fighting for your life, when you fighting a murder case, and you in the judicial system, first of all, the system designed to beat you anyway.
The
Trial kicked off late 1995. Jury selection in November. Opening statements January 96 in front of Judge Paul Flynn. Prosecutors came at Snoop hard, painting him as a revenge-driven shot caller, and even tried to use lyrics from Murder Was the Case against him. This was the first time Snoop had real legal muscle. Before, he had to take whatever plea came his way.
I didn't know how to carry myself. I didn't know how to act because I wasn't never in a position like that. Normally, when I went to court, I would just take the deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have money for a lawyer. I didn't have...
Yeah, that was me. I was there.
Right. So I didn't have none of that. So this is the first time I ever had a lawyer.
Defense? Heavy hitters. Johnny Cochran, fresh from the OJ case, joined David Kennard and Donald Ray, arguing self-defense. They claimed Snoop and his crew were being pressured by Woodirium for weeks. Suge Knight stepped up too, funding a $10 million legal war chest for his artist.
When it came to my murder case, if it wasn't for him, I don't know what I would have did, because he was professional enough to know that you need a lawyer. You gotta get a defense team. You gotta do this. Don't say a word.
How much did your lawyer cost?
Man, we spent about $10 million on that case.
Damn. Just to get you out. He spent $10 million cash.
At least, because the case went on for 3 years.
The team pulled out courtroom tactics unheard of then. Video reenactments of the shooting to show the jury exactly what went down.
It was the first time that video reenactments was introduced in court. So we had to reenact what had actually happened through a video that my attorney was willing to, had found a way to put together, so it was like a reenactment like you see now when you watch those shows, the first 48 and all that. You see them how we was the first ones to do that in court.
After 4 tense days, the jury delivered the verdict on February 20, 1996. Snoop and Lee were acquitted of all murder charges. The voluntary manslaughter charge dropped shortly after. Jurors praised the self-defense argument and distrusted how cops and prosecutors handled the case. The ordeal cost $5 to $10 million, brought constant death threats, house arrest, and emotional turmoil. Snoop leaned on prayer, weed, and a serious spiritual transformation to survive, learning to take life day by day.
Is it possible for you to kind of map out a future for yourself, or are you taking it like as it comes at the moment?
I gotta always have a plan, for the future, but I like to take it day by day because nobody's promised tomorrow.
After the trial, Snoop consciously shifted his vibe. The Dogfather in '96 was less gangster, more peace-driven energy. He'd survived what so many peers hadn't, but watching friends fall left scars. The mid-90s hip-hop scene was boiling with East Coast-West Coast tension. Media fanned the flames. Snoop linked with Tupac in late '95 when Pac joined Death Row. These two West Coast legends, shaped by struggle and gang life, sparked magic in the studio. Classic tracks like Two of America's Most Wanted and Got My Mind.
He was always big as me or bigger than me. He was out before me. You get what I'm saying? So he was my peer, but at the same time, it was a level of respect. So it was never about him being bigger than me being bigger than me. Him being bigger than me or me being bigger than him. I actually got him to Death Row Records. Suge, go get Cuz. He need to be with us. But
by mid-96, tension was mounting. Pac was acting unpredictable, pressuring everyone at Death Row to pick sides in the escalating East Coast-West Coast beef. Snoop, fresh off beating his murder case and trying to stay low, wasn't about to dive headfirst into the drama. Things spiraled after Pac got shot at Quad Studios in New York in '94. He started pointing fingers at people who had nothing to do with it.
Did it go sideways?
Once Pac got shot, when he got shot, he felt like they did it, but...
And this was when he got shot in New York?
Yeah.
Before he got shot in Vegas?
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
And now...
So he felt like someone from the West Coast was involved?
No.
Or from the
like,
East Coast, rather, excuse me.
Yes. And later information came out that the people that he thought did it had nothing to do with it.
Being on death row only threw more gasoline on an already blazing fire. The label's reputation and Suja's aggressive stance made the beef escalate instead of getting squashed.
So by him accusing people of it, it kind of set things off.
And then by him being bailed out by Death Row Records, and Death Row Records adding more gasoline to the fire, and him being a part of the most gangsterous label in the world that his opposition didn't want no issues with.
Right.
It only egged it on, as opposed to, let's find a resolution. No, let's keep making it more of a problem.
Then came September 7th, 1996. Pac took multiple shots in a Vegas drive-by after the Tyson fight. Snoop wasn't there. He stayed back in LA. Pac clung to life for 6 days, passing on September 13th at just 25. Snoop rushed to Vegas, standing by his homie in the ICU, seeing him swollen, hooked up to tubes, unresponsive, and realizing he wasn't going to make it. Survivor's guilt hit.
Ever. Suge Knight was one of the best I ever ran across in my life. For the simple fact that he was so honest, so real, so true, and so passionate about Death Row and about his artists and about us becoming who we are. And, you know, I like to reflect on the great shit that he did. You know, everybody know about the bad shit, but the great shit he did was he instilled in me the power and the will to just be great.
Snoop has admitted he feared for his life on that label. In 1998, he bought his way out, reportedly for $105 million, and linked up with Master P's No Limit Records. He said that move literally saved his life. Another devastating loss hit in 2011 when Nate Dogg passed on March 15th at 41 from congestive heart failure. Nate, Snoop's day one homie from 213, was the hook king behind classics like Regulate, Ain't No Fun, and Area Codes.
About a week ago, my mom's birthday was April 27th, and we went to her gravesite, and I was on Instagram Live, because I just wanted to share with people that I'm, you know, keeping her spirit alive. And then I had that gospel music on, and them damn songs came on, and I started crying. I'm like, uh-oh, mama working on me right now. She's trying to show my vulnerability in front of everybody to show that I miss her.
Snoop's public grieving became part of how he processes pain, sharing it with fans who understand struggle.
But I'm strong enough to cherish the moments that I had with her. So it went from tears of sadness to tears of joy to me and my brother conversing, and my kids was behind me. It turned into a beautiful day. But like those moments like that are moments I like to share with people, to show them that I'm normal, that I do have a moment where I do cry and I do feel like you feel, and I'm not always happy and I'm not always up.
Early 2024 was brutal. On January 18th, his youngest daughter, Corey Burris, 24, suffered a severe stroke while preparing for her wedding. Dealing with lupus since childhood, stress worsened her condition. Snoop was by her side, posting prayers and support. She recovered enough to walk down the aisle months later, calling it a wake-up call. Weeks later, February.
Shout out Death Row, because you have taken that mantle and
Yes.
you are waving that flag
Yes.
and doing movies and music and all of that.
Me cleaning up the Death Row image, cleaning up the old way of business, giving it new departments, giving it Death Row Pictures, Death Row Games, Death Row Cannabis, and just expanding the brand, being lovable, being approachable, doing great business, and just doing some things that never been done with this label.
That work ethic traces back to his come-up, selling candy, delivering papers, running the offense on the field. Grind was always his element.
The work was always what I loved doing, because as a kid, I sold candy, I sold newspapers, played football, played basketball, and it's always a work ethic that comes when you're on a team. And when I played football, I was the quarterback, so they depended on me. When I played basketball, I was the guard, so I had to run the show.
Snoop's been upfront about mental health, therapy for childhood trauma, trial stress, survivor's guilt, and family losses. 5 years strong, weekly sessions.
And that anxiety record's so hard.
Right, because we go through that, right?
Yeah.
It feels like we all go through that, but it's starting to become cool to talk about.
Mhm.
You know, if you said it maybe 5 years ago, people look at you like you crazy.
Mhm.
And nobody wants the stigma of, I'm crazy. No, I just want some help.
The Snoop Youth Football League, started in 2005, has produced more than athletes. It's shaping leaders across industries.
And to this day, we have 47 kids that have made it to the NFL. 47.
incredible.
Yes, sir. And then we also have sheriffs, we have Rhodes Scholars, we have lawyers, doctors. We even had one of the kids that was head of education in the White House. Like, we got kids, women. I keep calling them kids because they were kids when they were in my league, but we have men and women who have come from my league that are doing some remarkable stuff outside of football.
He also launched Snoop Youth Special Stars for kids with special needs. His stagecraft evolved under Charlie Wilson, learning to command a crowd.
Charlie, because Charlie was a professional.
Yeah.
And the Lollapalooza tour, I had to have a band. So that got me right by having a band, having him as the MD, and we had songs together from the Dogfather. And he showed me how to perform, how to take advantage of the crowd, how to look them in the eye, how to stay engaging with them, how to put my set list together where you don't play your biggest records first.
His unexpected bond with Martha Stewart proves he can cross worlds, running TV shows and business ventures with a friendship no one saw coming.
What I love about her is that she got the same spirit that I have, as far as, like, she's a hustler.
And she ain't snitch neither.
Nah, she a rider. You know what I'm saying? So
Rolled out.
it's crazy how people are so for each other and so belonging and deserving of each other, and we don't know it because we always put a wall up thinking that we can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't hang out with that person. They ain't the same color as me.
Fatherhood changed him, made him want to make it home, survive, and be present for his kids.
Like, babies, like, if you got a real good heart and you realize you brought something in this world, it's your responsibility to be better for your baby, and not just your baby, but the babies in the world. Because when you blessed with a baby, you see what the world is dealing with when they have a baby.
At 54, Snoop Dogg is still grinding. His album Is It a Crime tackles controversies while showcasing the musical range he's built over 30 years. Free from old contracts, he's exploring every style he loves.
Kids, I do a lot of things that I didn't do for my kids, and I'm more, like, softer on them because I feel like they're precious. With my kids, I was hard on them. And I'm like, man, was I wrong or right for that? Because the way I was raised, you know, you're supposed to put your kids in positions to understand that life is real. You don't want to set them up for nothing that's fake.
At
I
54
think
years
once
old-
I was able to have my hands free from all of the situations that I had been in, whether it was death row, no limit, me just being by myself, solo as an artist, just wanting to do different styles of music. Like, I love music. I love every form of music. And like I was saying, if I adore you as a musician and I love your music, I'm going to reach out. And if I love the style of music or the genre of music, I'm going to try it.
Snoop Dogg's story isn't about the L's he took, it's about surviving them all. Streets, survived. Murder case, survived. Homies, outlasted. Expectations, outlasted. Every loss shaped him. Every void he filled with something new. Music, family, business, community. The same kid who sold tapes on a bike now sends kids to the NFL. The rapper who watched Pac flatline in Vegas now